Have you ever been handed a problem and you just stare at it with absolutely no idea where to even begin? Yeah, we've all been there. So today, we're going to dig into the work of Dr. Kwasi Osafo Ampadu to really unpack the single most important step in any problem-solving journey, getting that first step right. It almost always starts with something just like this, doesn't it? Your boss, a client, maybe even you, talking to yourself. You come up with something that sounds like a goal, but it's just so vague. Dr. Ampadu uses this example, and it's perfect because it totally captures how most big projects kick off, with a simple, kind of fuzzy request. Exactly. Where do you start with that? I mean, does better mean it's faster, quieter, lighter, cheaper maybe? Electric? You see, without a clear direction, you are completely stuck. And that feeling right there of being totally overwhelmed by a task that isn't defined, that's the starting line for pretty much every major innovation. But here's the good news. According to Dr. Ampadu's research, there's actually a map for this journey. You don't have to just wander around in the dark. He lays out a really structured process that's designed to take you from that confusing, messy starting point all the way to a brilliant solution. And here is that map, the whole shebang. Now, what's really cool is that this shows the entire design process. You can see all the stages, right? Research, prototyping, testing. But look closely. Look at the very first step, way up here in the top right. Identification of a need, or, as it's also called, problem formulation. Everything kicks off right there. So, let's zoom in on that critical first step. Dr. Ampadu calls this identification of a need or problem formulation. And listen, this isn't just some box you check off a list. This is the foundation for everything else that comes after. If you get this wrong, the entire project can just go completely off the rails. This awesome little diagram from Dr. Ampadu's work breaks it all down for us. It shows you the key parts of this first phase. We're going to walk through what each of these really means, starting with where that initial, fuzzy problem usually comes from. So as Dr. Ampadu points out, that first statement, the "we need a better lawnmower," is almost always handed to you by someone else, and it's usually super brief and missing all the crucial details. It is nowhere near what you actually need to start designing a solution. You got to think of it more like a signal, not a specification. Okay, so if that initial statement isn't the real problem, then what is? To move forward, we need a much clearer definition of what a problem actually is. And luckily, this framework we're exploring gives us a fantastic one. So here's the crucial point. A problem is simply a gap. That's it. It's the space between where you are right now, that's the current state, and where you really want to be, the desired state. So solving a problem is really just the act of building a bridge across that gap. And this slide just illustrates it perfectly. Not all gaps are created equal. Dr. Ampadu draws a really clear line between routine problems and creative ones. If your AC runs out of gas, that's a routine problem. The gap is clear, the solution is known, you fill it with more gas. Simple. But designing a better lawnmower? Oh, that's a creative problem. The path across that gap is totally unknown. This distinction, the one between routine and creative problems, it brings us to the most important transformation that has to happen right at the start. It is the entire purpose of this first step of identifying the need. According to Dr. Ampadu's work, these creative problems, like our lawnmower example, they start out as ill-structured. It's a great term, isn't it? It just means the problem is fuzzy, it's undefined, and it offers you almost no guidance on how to solve it. It's like a messy knot of ideas with no clear thread to start pulling on. And this, right here, this is the key takeaway from this whole framework. The entire goal of this first phase of problem solving is to take that messy, ill-structured idea and make it well-structured. It's all about turning "we need a better lawnmower" into a crystal clear, actionable set of goals and constraints and ways to measure success. You are literally turning fog into a roadmap. So as we wrap up, I'm going to leave you with this question. What ill-structured problem is kind of floating around in your work or in your life right now? Using this framework from Dr. Kwasi Osafo Ampadu, how could you start to define that gap between where you are and where you want to be and really begin turning that fog into your own roadmap?